My favorite memory of Coach Degoosh and Mr. Coach is seeing them come to all my field hockey games to cheer me on and seeing their faces light up every single time that somebody on the lacrosse team does something amazing out on the field. Thank you guys for supporting me through my 4 years of high school. I love you guys.
My favorite lacrosse memory with Coach Degoosh and Mr. Coach would probably be after the region game when we were all just celebrating and all of our hard work and their hard work paid off. And also just knowing that they would be there to support me with whatever I was doing both on and off the field.
My favorite memory with Coach Degoosh and Mr. Coach was being district champions 2 years in a row and celebrating each year. Thank you for being my coach these past 4 years and supporting every decision I've made.
My favorite memory with Coach is honestly probably just going into her room in the morning and talking. Nothing about lacrosse, just talking.
My favorite lacrosse memory is all the Easter egg hunts that we did during the spring break practices.
My favorite lacrosse memory is how Coach Degoosh and Mr. Coach had patience with me while I was learning a new sport.
My favorite memory would probably be the Easter egg hunt that we do during spring break, just because everyone gets so excited and it's so fun and no other coaches do that. So
thank you, Coach Degoosh and Mr. Coach, for pushing me and teaching me so much throughout the past 3 years. I will miss you next year.
So my favorite memory of Mr. Coach would probably be the fact that he let me use a stick every single day for practice, for games, it didn't matter. And it kind of, eventually he just figured out, I'd be using it every day. So he kind of just started giving it to me. And it was always really funny and just, it was great. And then he always would crack a joke. It wouldn't matter what it would be. He'd always crack a joke and find a way to bring a smile on my face. So I looked forward to that every day, and I just appreciate that because it made me really happy. And my favorite memory of Coach Degoosh would probably be after the final game. I was bawling because I just found out, she was retiring for good. We just lost, and she just was hugging me and giving me all this really good sound advice for next year as far as leadership and team stuff goes, and just saying you'll be fine, and it just it meant the world to me, and it was just really sweet to hear and just really good to hear. And yeah, I'm appreciative for both of you for all you've done for me, for pushing me and helping me to grow, and for putting a stick in my hand. I love you both so much, and I appreciate everything you've done for me, so thank you.
My favorite memory of Coach Degoosh and Mr. Coach has been them teaching me all about lacrosse and just helping me develop as both a player and a person in general over the past 3 years. And I think they've really shaped my athletic future and my non-athletic future, and they've had a great impact on my life and the way I see the world. Thank you, guys.
My favorite memory would have to be doing the Easter egg hunt every year, and thank you to the coaches. You'll be greatly missed.
My favorite memory with coaches are probably pre-game hyping and them giving me talks when I wasn't on my best game, and just making my whole first season memorable.
My favorite Coach Degoosh memory was during the Triple Edge season. She needed a defender, so she put me in for defense, and after the game she said I did really well and I was going to be our new defense with Muma. So that was how it kind of all started with me on defense, and I'll never forget that day. So thank you guys. Thank you for all you do. Bye.
Hi, Coach Degoosh. Hi, Mr. Coach. So my favorite memory has to be winning our first game against Liberty. I loved how you motivated us and you kept us in shape. And thank you for believing in us. And I'm going to miss you guys next year. Bye.
My favorite memory with Mr. Coach and Coach Degoosh is probably the Triple Edge season, because it was just such a fun experience and it gave us a lot of room to improve, and it was just a time for all of us to get to know each other and try our best.
My favorite memory of the coaches are when they wore their matching unicorn shirts and let us take pictures of them dabbing.
Thank you, Coach Degoosh and Mr. Coach, for first of all teaching me how to play lacrosse. I never would have learned if it wasn't for you guys. My best memory from lacrosse is actually from this season. It was in one of our earlier games, and Mr. Coach pulled me off the field onto the sidelines and said, "You can outrun these girls. and if you just sprint harder and faster and push past them, you'll be able to make that goal. And so I sprinted harder and faster, and sure enough, I made the goal. It was my first goal of the season. And without that motivation that the coaches are constantly pushing, I don't think I would have ever been able to do it. So thank you so much, and I've had 2 great seasons with you guys.
My favorite memory of Coach Degoosh was during field hockey practice freshman year when she first asked me if I wanted to play lacrosse. And at first I wasn't really sure about it. I was debating, but then I'm so glad she convinced me to, because I wouldn't have the friends that I do today or the opportunities and fun that I've had all season this year and last year. And my favorite memory of Mr. Coach was one day during this season, we were all watching the JV game in the bleachers. Then we look over and somebody points out that he's reffing the JV game, and we all thought that was really fun to watch.
My favorite memories of Coach Degoosh and Mr. Coach is when Coach Degoosh tried to teach Annabelle and I how to pose when we were taking a picture after our first JV game. And then my favorite Mr. Coach memory is when Mr. Coach had to ref our JV game because there weren't enough refs. So those are my favorite memories.
My favorite memory of Coach Degoosh is when she would find a little bug and she would like hold it up to them, and then the person would like flinch and like run away.
My favorite memory with Coach Degoosh is talking to her every morning in gym, and my favorite memory with Mr. Coach is having to always pay attention during the circle game because we never knew where the ball was going to be thrown.
My favorite memory with the Degooshes is when we did the Easter egg hunt, and especially Coach Degoosh was so excited to see us all excited to do the stuff, and she was so excited to give us our gifts, and yeah.
My favorite memory of the Degooshes is them helping me become a better player throughout the season, and not only that, but helping me become a better person and a teammate. Thank you guys so much for making my first season amazing.
My favorite memory from the 2019 lacrosse season with Coach Degoosh and Mr. Coach was them having patience with me and teaching me all the skills and techniques that I need to know to play lacrosse in the future.
Thank you so much, Coach Degoosh, for taking time to help coach us, and I learned so much this year and had a lot of fun, and I can't wait to keep playing.
My favorite memory would have to be when Coach Degoosh and Mr. Coach were both wearing their Dabbing Unicorn lacrosse shirts at one of our games. It was pretty funny. And thank you both for coaching everyone, including me.
My favorite memory from this season is how Coach Degoosh would always decorate our lockers with inspirational quotes before every game.
Hey Coach Degoosh! It's Ellie and Natalie. So our favorite memory with you is, well, my favorite memory is probably when we were doing the Foursquare, when we were planking. That was a lot of fun.
And my favorite part was you making us run all the time.
Thank you so much, Coach Degoosh and Mr. Coach, for everything that you taught me and the rest of the team throughout the season. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to keep playing lacrosse.
My favorite memory with Coach Degoosh this season is probably going at his goalie during the Easter U game. That was interesting. And with Mr. Coach, it was my 30-minute goalie crash course before our fall year game.
My favorite memory of Coach Degoosh and Mr. Coach this season was the day that we were supposed to play our first Breadsville game that got stormed out when both coaches came in matching Coach Newman with their Dabbing Unicorn lacrosse shirts. I also just wanted to say how grateful I am to you guys for helping us to have a great season and to become a lot better players. Also, for me specifically, I just thank you for helping me to learn how to use my left hand to my advantage. Thank you so much for a great season, and we're going to miss you a lot next year.
Hi, Coach Degoosh. Hi, Mr. Coach. My favorite memory is when you guys gave me my practice penny during the scrimmage, because I feel like that gave me a big chance to become a better player, and also it made me want to work harder and smarter on and off the field. And you guys also formed me to be a better player and person on and off the field, which taught me a lot about like being a teammate and working as a team and working together. And thank you for that opportunity. I appreciate it a lot. Like, it meant a lot to me. And then I also wanted to thank you for being a mother figure
and being able to talk to you whenever we needed to. Like for everyone on the team, you basically took in all your athletes as your own child, and I appreciate that.